The city was built around 12 lagoons and their connecting channels. Boats were used for transportation as much as cars, since the people had built their houses at the waterside. One of the lagoons penetrated the business district. On the morning of September the 12th, a fisherman had dropped his line over one of the embankments. A nervous fisherman. Nervous because at the end of his line there was no hook. There was a plumb bob. The two scuba divers measured precisely from the plumb bob. Carefully drew a circle around the measured point. A point directly outside the underground cash vault of the Coast Bank, where the receipts of the town's numerous resort hotels were guarded.
How'd you make out?
Give me the drawing, I'll show you. Okay, now that's the center of the tunnel. I marked it with a peg. There's where we'll go in.
Yeah, we can get Nelson to show you how to blast through to it.
He will. Were we old Navy frogmen buddies, huh? Ewo, Saipan, Tarawa.
If it's not airtight, I want out.
It is airtight, and you're in. I waited a long time for a crack at this job. All I needed was someone to show me how to get through that embankment.
And Nelson will show you.
Even when he doesn't know he's showing me. Come on, let's get this tub moving.
$1.5 million in cash, 7 feet behind that embankment.
And if anyone can show us how to get into that bank vault, Nelson's the man. The middle of the next morning, I'd just come up for a rest period after an hour's dive. I was laying out a cable route for a local phone company. Hey, Mike! Mike Nelson!
Ben Murdoch.
Right.
Well, what do you know?
How are you, Mike? How's the old fight going, huh?
Oh, it's not bad. What about you? What are you doing in the Navy?
Well, I'm looking for you.
Looking for me?
Yeah. I read in the paper you're in town, working for the phone company. Well, Mike, I kind of got myself in a little bind, and actually that's what I came to talk to you about. Thought you might be able to help me out.
Oh, what's your problem?
Well, ever since I've been out of the Navy, I've been in the same business as you. I got myself in a little bind here. I took a contract to punch through a seawall 10 feet under the surface and down Costa Rica off San Jose.
Oh, it just looks routine. Drill and a little gelatin.
Oh, well, maybe routine for you, Mike. Remember, hydraulic pressure and shaped charges weren't my strong point.
All right, you want to come with me? Take off my tanks, we'll talk about it.
Oh, it's great, Mike. That's my old buddy. Hey, wait a minute. Let me give you a hand.
Oh, I'll be glad to lay out the procedure for you. You want to get together tomorrow morning sometime?
Well, Mike, I think I got a better idea. Now, you got a work permit, and I haven't. Why don't you get us 10 pounds of dynamite, and you can demonstrate the procedure?
Oh, your seawall is down in Costa Rica.
Oh, I'm ahead of you on that. I already found an old seawall north of town. Built very much like this one. Maybe you could show me on it, huh?
Yeah, I suppose so.
Well, I took the liberty of making out a permit for 10 pounds of dynamite. That ought to be enough, huh?
Yeah, sure, 10 pounds. That's plenty for a demonstration.
Yeah.
You never know it's a 10. That'll get you 70 pounds without any questions.
Great. We'll store 60 pounds aboard, and I'll give Nelson the other 10. And I'll take him over to the old seawall in the morning. The next morning, Murdoch and I were at an old seawall north of town. The air compressor was needed to power an underwater jackhammer. The first phase of the operation was to breach the face of the concrete wall. At spaced intervals, I marked the places to drill holes about an inch in diameter. With the help of the jackhammer, making the hole should be quick work. I showed Murdoch how it had to be done. After drilling a few sample holes, I turned the jackhammer over to Murdoch to see whether he could handle it. He'd been paying very close attention. He had the idea. Next, the dynamite. The short sticks were already wired and capped. I placed the first stick in one of the holes so that the detonating wire protruded. Each stick had to be sealed in and tamped over with clay. Again, I indicated to Murdoch to duplicate the operation. He was a very willing pupil. Now all that remained was to splice the wires into one cable and lead them up into the embankment where we had a battery detonator.
Wasn't it? Yeah, it worked all right. I gotta get back to my job. Suppose we get together day after tomorrow about this same time, huh? And we'll go through the next phase.
Yeah, well, what's that?
Pulling through that loose dirt on this side of the wall and shoring up.
Okay, Mike, anything you say.
See you then.
Murdoch lost no time in getting back to the seawall at the coast bank. In 2 hours of work the next day, he completed preparations to breach the face of the wall. The dynamite charges were wired and ready to explode.
All right. Let's go see what happened.
Murdoch had been a star student. The concrete wall was perfectly blasted, exposing the soft earth of the embankment itself. Two days later, I was back at the old seawall with Murdoch. Using a short length of shoring pipe, I showed him how he'd have to excavate the hole by degrees. The shoring pipe would be shoved in as the earth was brought out. Murdoch understood and was grateful for my help. I did everything but give him a diploma.
The only difference in your job will be that you'll have to tunnel further and use a longer drill.
I can't think enough, Mike. When I get paid, there'll be a little bonus.
Ah, forget that. Just see that you do a good job in Costa Rica.
On the following Friday, I'd half completed my work for the phone company. That was the day my old buddy feeling for Murdoch went sour.
Nelson?
Yeah, that's right.
I'm Wade, and State Inspector Explosives.
Oh, well, nice to know you. What can I do for you?
Well, not much, to tell the truth. I was in the neighborhood, so I thought I'd drop by. See how you were doing with all that gelatin you bought the other day.
Wait a minute, all that 10 pounds?
10? I thought it was 70.
Ah, just 10.
Says 70 here.
Well, I just signed for 10. I'm very careful about these things.
Well, you bought the gelatin, and you know the difference between 10 pounds and 70.
No, I just signed for it. A friend of mine picked it up. Give him a call at his hotel. Okay, thanks. Hotel says Murdoch isn't registered there. Says there hasn't been anyone there by that name any day this week, or this month.
You sure you got the right hotel?
I got the right hotel. I think I got the wrong man.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to check into this.
Now, wait a minute. I think I know how I can get a lead on him. He said he had no compressor. Well, there's only one place in town that handles compressed air.
Yep, I remember him. No, I ain't. No. Yeah, I'll be glad to keep an eye out for him. Yeah. The cops? Yes, sir, Mr. Nelson. I'll call the cops just as soon as I see him.
Murdoch needed no more help from me. He was towing a length of shoring pipe toward the seawall alongside the coast bank. It would reach from open water through the embankment to the wall of the bank vault itself. Concealed by a 15-foot blanket of water, Murdoch entered on the final phase of his operation. same day, when I surfaced for a breather from my own work, I found a police officer waiting for me.
I got a make on your friend Murdoch. He served time. The Costa Rican government's never heard of him.
Fine friend, huh?
Yeah, fine friend. He got 60 pounds of dynamite out of you.
How about that?
Headquarters to 356.
356, bye.
On missing dynamite, John Harkins, 148th Street on South Lagoon, has information for you.
Proceeding to Harkins Dock, 10-4. 10-4.
At the other end of the shoring pipe, Murdoch had set his final dynamite charges. This time to blast through the wall of the bank vault. The traffic on the lagoon was light. It was the start of a quiet weekend for all except the Coast Bank.
Saw him, Sergeant. I saw him, I did. Expected him in a car, but they come up in a boat.
Murdoch? Who? Are you sure it was Murdoch?
Murdoch? No, the tall, skinny fellow with a tattoo on his arm. They recharged 4 tanks, they did.
Can you describe the boat?
Well, I sure can. It was a 36-footer sports fisherman, and it had an open cockpit, and it was painted white.
Thanks a lot, mister.
Now we knew that Murdoch was somewhere in the area. The police officer radioed a description of the wanted boat to headquarters. A general alarm to search the lagoons of the city was sent out.
It's nice of the bank people to give the help Saturday off.
You sure there's not going to be any noise?
Oh, it wasn't last time you were here. Anyhow, if there should be a hullabaloo, all we have to do is drop this stuff over the side and let it float away. Hey, shall we play bank night?
Murdoch chose a moment when no other boats were near.
Well, I guess it's time to go for a little swim. The cutting torch ready?
Sure is.
Want me to go with you?
No, there's some room for 2 of us in that pipe. I'll let you know if I need you. Give me a hand, buddy.
Jefferson Lake searched, and now heading out of North Channel into Bonneview Lagoon, over.
Murdoch had one more obstacle to overcome, but he was prepared to deal with it with a cutting torch. Although the dynamite blast had knocked a hole through the wall of the vault, the steel reinforcing bars still had to be cut. The torch took care of them very easily. The vault was flooded, but otherwise undamaged.
Take a look at that one.
Could be. Let's have a look.
Look what's coming.
Get rid of the battery.
Who else you got on board?
Well, just the 2 of us, Sergeant.
This your boat?
Nobody else's.
I'm coming about. Follow me into shore.
My pleasure, Sergeant. What's it all about?
Just follow me.
Hold it.
What's the matter?
You see that embankment?
What about it?
I got an idea.
I don't know what you're talking about, Mike. Hey, they're getting out of here. I'm going.
So am I. He came at me with a searing white-hot flame. I disarmed the torch by pinching off the gas mixture that fed the flame. The torch went out. Then it was knives. Finally, I got a stranglehold on Murdoch. With his hair cut off, he gave up.
Okay, down below. Let's go. I'm going to take in the boat as well as these suspects.
Drop me off in the bank on your way.
What for?
There's a hole in the wall that needs fixing. Hello there. I'm Lloyd Bridges. Skin diving is fun and adventure for young and old, but it can be dangerous. So know the sport well and don't take any chances. Be with you next week for another exciting sea hunt.